For me, the key to happiness is attaining peace, because happiness will come and go, and usually people want happiness because of their pain and their suffering, and I certainly did. I certainly was a happiness seeker because of my pain and suffering, and what I learnt slowly but surely over the years was if I attended to my pain and suffering, the roots of it, learning to solve it, clear it, heal it, and sometimes how to manage it. If I couldn't shift it fast enough, how am I going to be when I'm depressed? What are the things I'm going to need to do? What are the awarenesses I need to have? What are the practices? Because really, we don't care about happiness if we're peaceful. If we feel peaceful, if we feel content, we don't care about happiness. Happiness will then come and go, but we tend to put a load of weight on happiness when we haven't had it for a long time. We're starving for happiness, so we make it all about happiness, and this is also where addiction can play out. You know, addiction is trying to blast your way out of a negative or difficult feeling by replacing it with happiness. Now, that's not strictly true, because there are some addictions that happiness is not necessarily the experience, but often with substance, it's the desire to change your state. So for me, happiness becomes irrelevant when you can access peace, and you can only access a certain level of peace with a certain level of self-awareness and self-understanding if you have had some struggles in your life. There are certain people who are just born with a really lovely wiring around gratitude, presence and strength, and they haven't had circumstances that knocked them off their feet. They either had very supportive family, were robust enough to develop supportive friendships, so they've had a lot of it is circumstantial for people. But then I often think, you know, how unhappy we are in the West as a culture with all the supposed things that we have that are material for our lives. And you know, so many reports that I hear all the time from friends I have who are aid workers or have worked in places where people have nothing, and they have a far deeper connection to happiness and gratitude. So it's an interesting one. I think it's kind of happiness is kind of like the new desired drug, but I think it's only desired by people who are desperate to feel something other than the pain or the suffering that they're in.